left. Left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts
right here, right now.
This is a message to all the haters out there. If you don't like what I do, but you watch everything I'm doing, you're still a fan.
Waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kinda odd. No barking from the dog, no smoke. And mama cooked the
Okay, so you put in a little ice cube in there. I like what you did there. All right, guys. Look, before we start this evening, first of all, thank you guys for joining us this evening. This is Hog HQ Live, brought to you by the Hog Talk Podcast. Remember, tell a friend to tell a friend that we are back again. This is episode 34. We are on summer sessions. It's winding down, guys. Now, this gentleman here, that's Adam. Yeah? And this gentleman here, Matt, is back. Matt is back. Welcome back, Matt. Glad to have you, sir. That's what's up. That's what's up. Before we even get into what we got going on, I got to shout out my guy, Brad Stanton. Brad Stanton is the first person to comment for the past couple weeks. Straight
before it even starts.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Brad. He said, good evening, everyone. Good Sunday, everyone, from Colorado Springs. Once again, that's going to be our new thing. Where you guys watching from? Shout out to Will Lennox. He said, what's up? Ross, you got to get in on here because you used to do a lot of YouTubing, and I ain't seen no content lately, so you got to let us know what's up, Ross. Ross already watching us. Actually got to catch a show live on Facebook. I always seem to watch on YouTube. Either way it go, Ross. It says that he started on YouTube and now he's on Facebook. Either way.
You know what? If we're getting both views from both phones, I don't.
Hey, we take them all.
Hey, it helps with the views and the reach, man. So as we get into this evening, speaking of reach, you guys know we are at the point we are looking for sponsorship. So once again, if you have a small or large business, preferably in the state of Arkansas, we would love to have your business and be able to run your ad on the show. So once again, you can hit any one of us on the screen in our DMs and some messenger and say that you want some information, and we will definitely send out some information to you so you can know what is going on and how you can support and how we can support the business that you want to put in.
I mean, if there's a national drink chain or something that wants to like slide in our DMs and say, "Hey, drink our beverage on your show,"
we'll definitely do it. Brad said, "I don't have a life." Brad, you do have a life, and I'm glad you're sharing your life with us this evening. Derek Henry said, Maryland supporting my Hogs. That's what's up in Maryland. And we figured out that's not the Derrick Henry from Baltimore.
I don't know. Not sold on that.
Still matching.
Yeah.
Maryland and all that.
Look, and guys that's watching, whoever's out there watching right now, you've been watching recently. And the reason why I know that is these likes is already going up. We definitely appreciate that. It helps drive the channel. It helps get more viewership. So we thank you for that. Every time that you push the like button, got the care on there, the heart on there. We definitely appreciate that, guys.
And if you hover, you can see who did. So like Logan and Jeff, they liked it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Logan. I don't see Logan on here yet.
He's in there. He's watching.
Okay.
Logan can tell us in the comments what happened on NCAA football the other night.
Oh, he said, "Shut up, just kidding." Hey, that means you must have put the smack down on him.
No, it was all right.
That's what's up. And we still talking about doing what you call it? Stitch?
Twitch.
Stitch? Twitch. Same thing. Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
I think it'd be cool to have a little, just Twitch stream for all of us to get in and play.
Yeah.
So we can, put each other on blast live for everybody.
I was just gonna say, because if you get SWAC, where I'm from, we call it the SWAC room. That's 21 nothing. That's
21
SWAC.
Yep.
There you go.
Skunk.
Yeah, we call it SWAC. So at the end of the day, if that happened to you, we definitely gonna blast you in the group, Logan. Anyhow, let's get into summer sessions, guys. Yeah, let's get into summer session, guys. So we're gonna jump straight into it with some basketball this evening. Now, as you've seen, Coach Cal did a presser this week, and he basically talked about the wrap up for the summer. Kind of talked about the development of certain players, what he liked, some things players need to work on, and who actually showed up to him that he didn't expect. I remember him saying TB was better than he expected. So, and talking about Big Z, saying, "Hey, you're not gonna stand on the perimeter and just shoot threes." So, we're gonna start off this evening with little clips from Coach Cal and how he had to run his summer practice.
The biggest challenge you have, and I've always had, is mindset. How do I get these guys to think different, to think bigger? It was only a few short months ago I walked in with no team, no staff, no schedule, and now we're talking about how do we get a new team and how do we get them to think together but think bigger? Well, you think big, but you work bigger, because it's not being delusional. You're not dreaming dreams. This is about what you're trying to accomplish for yourself.
A part of one of his clips that I really like, he said, "I want them to think like kings."
Mm-hmm.
That's very powerful, man. That's very powerful. I like how this guy speaks life into his players, and he just pushes them to be better. Got a comment here from Adam on YouTube, said he's watching from Tawny Town. We talked about that last time. We know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to talk about Larry? We are going to talk about Larry Worth and how he surprised the football team. Already, yeah, we definitely going to talk about that in the football segment. So stay tuned for that, Adam. We definitely got some information, some footage for that. So we're going to chime in with that. Back to Coach Cal, though. It was interesting what he had to say, just in the mindset. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I like how Coach Cal is really a storyteller, and he basically takes over the press conference.
Mm-hmm. He flat out told him, he was just like, if y'all haven't noticed by now, basically like, you can ask questions, but I'm still going to talk about what I came to talk about.
Yep.
So he might not answer your question directly because he already knows what he's going to come in and say.
Yep. And part of that conversation, he ran the conversation. Did it answer your question? Did it answer your Probably not. Okay, moving on. And I'm not mad at it, man. Like I said, the guys know what message he wants to get across. He controls the narrative. He did that the same way when he first got in and said, "It won't happen overnight, guys. You got to have some patience." He also spoke on having to build a roster and when we get the players together. So he definitely wants to be in charge. And then the fact of it, he said, "I want to have 8, 9 guys."
Mm-hmm.
That's controlling the narrative. Because at the end of the day, as players, well, as fans, we get so impatient about what's going to happen, how fast it's going to happen. We were so used to Must doing things a certain way. Now Coach Cal has his own way of doing things. Matt, you got something on it?
Yeah, I mean, Must is completely different when it comes to Cal in that aspect. I mean, they mirror themselves in some fashions, as most people would, being a basketball coach, but Must is a lot more. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. He's just more emotional, and I felt like our team somewhat mimicked that last year with all the technical fouls. And Cal's a little more trying to grow up, pick yourself up, tough it off, shrug it off, get back to it, work hard. Not saying Muss didn't, try to do those things with the guys, but because he did do a lot of team building activities to try to get the team to grow together. But Cal just has he's unique in the way he builds relationships with the players and their families, and how he gets them to see the big picture of what he's trying to paint. Now, he hasn't had as much success in the postseason as we all have seen lately, but he also has his guy KP back, who is his kind of Tex Winter to Phil Jackson, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I think the results will not be the same as they were at the end of Kentucky as, they will be at Arkansas. I think they'll have better results.
And when you said KP, we're talking about Kenny Payne, who was on the Kentucky staff and ended up going to Louisville as a head coach and ended up leaving that particular establishment and coming to join him on the staff here at Arkansas. Adam, what you got on basketball and Coach Cal?
Well, going back to the roster, I mean, we saw this week that he wasn't done when it came to these players coming in that know the role that they're going to have. Casimir Chavis, who was originally had signed a national letter of intent with Washington, he's 2024, so he'll be on the team. But he picked him up. I think it was announced a little over a week ago, but they finally inked it this past week. So the official announcement came. So it's another, he talked about there's those 8-9 guys. They know who they are, and the other guys can work to get in the rotation, but they come in knowing where they are. And here's that little bit on the roster.
The roster I feel good about. 8 or 9, it's 9. We still have 10, 11, 12. We still have those guys. But that 8-man roster is kind of handpicked. The others, if they can work themselves into a rotational, that's fine. They all can shoot. I want guys that can make shots. So, no, I feel good about the roster.
And that was, everybody wondered what's he going to put together. And, being behind the 8 ball when it came to coming in, when he came in to Arkansas. And, I mean, he's just kind of kept it 100 about that whole thing. He's just like, we got to handpick who we wanted. It was basically they came in and with nothing. And, you're not basically handed players that you may not want on your roster. Mm-hmm. They got to go pick out an entire roster, and that included Trevin Brazile.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was great to see him talk about TB. And he said he wanted him to be a grinder. Mm-hmm. Part of his commentary on TB was, I don't want you sitting outside shooting. And that talks about what you talked about, Adam, before, about how he was misused in Muss' system. And just saying, as far as being an NBA prospect, he needs to develop different sets of skills in order to be a better prospect for the NBA. I think that's the biggest point of having him as your head coach. As Matt said, he has not had a lot of tremendous success in postseason, but we know he does send guys to the NBA, and that's what the ultimate goal is for a lot of these players, which is why they sign on with Coach Cal. And at the end of the day, I look at it and see from a standpoint of, we're going to put you where you best fit to make it to the next level, right? And I think that's one of the best things that people understand when they do sign on with him. They understand that you're going to work against some of the better players in the country. That way, at the end of the day, you're developing yourself to be ready and prepared. And if you lose your spot, then the next guy is a next man mentality when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. Play this real quick on Brazil. A couple more clips on, then we can move on from basketball.
All right.
I feel pretty good. 3 guards, 3 wings, 3 bigs. Trevin's better than I thought he was. So a story. He's standing there and he's laying on his back. I said, "You're better than I thought you were." And he looks at me and says, "I told you." But that's the confidence that I want him to feel. He's talented, but he's got to get into wars and be comfortable in those situations. My whole thing with what I do is I try to make guys uncomfortable and let them know you must be comfortable when you're uncomfortable. You got to learn. You got to understand that's all part of it. But no, I'm feeling good about who we have and what we have, and they're going to compete.
So, yeah. I mean, it's one of those that, and he talks in the next clip more about John L. Being uncomfortable. he's comfortable in the gym. He goes to the gym 2-3 times a day, but he's just like, he's comfortable there. We've got to make him uncomfortable. And he basically pointed out it's noticeable when he is.
Yeah, and before you roll that one, the thing that was interesting about that, Janelle, knowing that you really only got 1 year to do this thing at Arkansas. You got the number 1 point guard coming in next year. So that position is already sold up at the end of the day. So it's going to be interesting to see how much he really puts into his craft and then develops his skill and put it on the floor this year.
Well, and he's got Boogie Flan this year.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not, you know, you got to have that sense of looking over your shoulder to an extent. Yeah, it's your teammate, but you got somebody right behind you, because he said he's got about 3 or 4 guys that can handle point.
Yep.
So it's one of those things that if you're not doing it, the next guy will.
Yep.
So
Nelly lives in that gym. He'll work out 2-3 times a day. Can really shoot it. What I love is making him uncomfortable. Because when he's uncomfortable, and you can see it. And I can say to him, this is what you have to overcome. We've got to make you comfortable being uncomfortable, because now you can be an attack dog. TB, I'm trying to make him an attack dog. I don't want him standing out there shooting threes. No, you're not doing that here. I'm not letting Z, you ready? Shoot any threes. Big Z, 7'2", he wants to shoot. No. You're not shooting threes. So now he has to shoot twos. You know why? An elbow jumper, when you miss that, kind of embarrassing. A 3 when you're 7'2" and you're way out there, oh, man, he almost made that. No, you're shooting twos. And that means you're going to get in the gym and get better, or you're going to be embarrassed all the time. And you know what? He's getting better.
you're going to be embarrassed.
Yeah, you're going to be embarrassed. I mean, looking like you 7'2" and you right there in the paint and you missed the damn 2. Yeah.
I did find it funny, like right around the press conference or after, I think it was, Arkansas social media posted a video of Trevin Brazil shooting threes. And I'm like, okay.
Said, we need you to read the room, guys. Were you not at the presser? Jesus. Yeah, that was interesting to see what it is. I do want to say this, though, real quick before we transition into football. You know we got a sponsor. Yeah, it's Bet Online. So, Bet Online is your number 1 source for all your sports needs this season, from basketball to baseball, golf, all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and every live odds and spreads, all while the games are being played. When the game is over, you can go to the online casino and get on the blackjack or the poker or the 150 games of slots you can play too. So head to the website today. That's Bet Online. Get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE. Adam, how do you spell that?
BLEAV.
All caps. For your 50% off free bet credit on your first deposit up to $50. Bet Online. That's what I said, $250. Bet Online. The game starts here. Look, you see how Adam can correct me, but he doesn't want to be the one that actually does the ad. You see how this works? We're just having fun. Look, we did basketball. You got these numbers. No, run that. I want to see those. So we got some numbers, right? TB was number 2 last year, right?
Correct.
Okay. And it was interesting to me when I seen him. That was the one name that I remember, of course. And I'm like, I wonder did him and Boogie Flan have a conversation.
Well, 4 was his high school number 2.
Okay.
So it could have been something when he got here. Devo had 4.
Got it.
So now he can go back to the number. You know, I don't remember what he had at Mizzou, because it's Mizzou. So. And so he's going back to his high school number. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the point guard wearing number 1. I like that. Knox. I got my eyes on Knox and the Duke. I really do. And Big Z at 4'4". That's gonna be interesting.
Billy Richmond, you got some big shoes to fill at 24. You know, it's Joe Johnson's number.
Oh yeah. And at some point, but at some point, can we retire some players' numbers, some legendary players' numbers, like the number 5 in football, at least on the offensive side or something?
And that's like, I've gone back and forth. Do you retire it, or like, does your starting running back, if you've got, say, a dominant running back, do they get like that number in honor?
Okay. Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was just thinking. It made me think of what we did at Palmetto High. 19, Fazil Shabazz's
Isaiah
number.
Shabazz.
If you're a stud running back, you get number 19.
Yeah. Did you ever get
And
19?
I was thinking
Matt?
we didn't get number 10. No, I didn't get number 19. I was
Oh, okay.
forgetting. I blocked words, but
What's up?
well, not Bazille, but I noticed we don't have a number 10 this year, and that's kind of the basketball version of number 5 in football. Or you got 34 for Corliss, but you've had a lot of number 10s. Todd Day, Bobby Portis, Jalen Williams. Yeah. So
Ronnie probably looks at those guys and he's just like, "You ain't wearing that." When they're at practice, I mean,
yeah, he probably say, "Hey, here go the jersey to choose from. This is not an option. You cannot wear this number." Yeah, Brad say 27 Atwater in football. Yeah, it's a possibility. I think I know LSU does. I forgot what number they use, but it's a certain number that.
Well, Michigan did at one point in time for like quarterback. I thought
possibly it wasn't Tom Brady's number though.
Nope.
Yeah, because Tom Brady was trash initially, and then he got fired once he got drafted. Either way,
against us.
Except against us. Shout out to Harold Harris for getting the pass deflection. Let Harold Harris tell it. Tom Brady is 0-1 as far as completing passes against him. And it was in the Citrus Bowl back in the day. Shout out to Harold Harris for that. All right, we're going to jump straight into football. 25 days. We got a player who wore number 25. I bet you won't roll it.
Slight blemish on his potential Heisman resume a little bit earlier in the first quarter. On the end around, this is Jones, and Jones has some real estate ahead of him. Felix Jones telling everyone to look at his shoe bottoms. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
Felix the Cat Jones. I think I just made up their nickname. Either way, go.
No.
I did.
No.
Felix the Cat is the cartoon, but I don't know if you're old enough to remember that.
Yes, it was around.
You remember?
And so was that nickname.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so that was a special team. Yeah, there was a special team, Logan. Absolutely. The players that were on that roster, I'm talking about offensive line, defense.
Man,
that's what it was all about, building a roster, man. And now you can just kind of pick and choose who you want for the most part in regards to the portal and things of that nature. But that was definitely a special team. Everybody played their role. It made me think the other day when I was watching the McFadden clips. And I was like, I wonder, can we bring back the Wild Hog under by Petrino? Or has it passed its time to where defenses and coaches have figured it out?
I don't think it's past its time. I think you have to. So it's kind of one of those that hasn't been used, obviously, as often in so long that you just got to kind of pick your spots, especially when you've got Quindon Jackson, who's a former quarterback, at running back. I mean, I feel like you have to, at some point, have some gimmick to allow him to throw it.
Even the Tebow jump pass. Because McFadden did that at one point. So I'm looking like it'd be interesting to see if Petrino pulls some tricks out of his hat and make it do what it do. Looking at this comment real quick. Steven Tucker says, my cousin Brandon Birchwolf was number 77. Is retired. Absolutely.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Absolutely.
Rightfully so. Krisha Armstrong, like you guys show. Good luck with your podcast, guys.
Andrew Armstrong's mom. Hey, Joe.
That's what's up. That's Armstrong. Thank you for watching. We definitely appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Let's jump straight into football. So, summer session, guys. Every week we've been breaking down position groups, and this is going to add our way up. We got linebackers this week. Last week we talked about defensive line, and a great job that Deke Adams is doing. And thank goodness for Sam Pittman for actually holding on to Deke Adams and retaining a defensive line coach year after year. Yeah, it'll figure itself out. I'm going to keep going. So having a defensive line coach every year that has some stability to where players know the coach that recruited me is actually going to be there the next year, which means a whole lot. Like I said, you sign your letter of intent, a lot that comes with that, with the in-home visits and these on-campus visits. Now you playing shuffleboard with the screen.
Not me.
Okay,
Matt keeps losing signal or something. He keeps exiting.
I'm not doing anything.
What my man say? What
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I'm gonna do my hands. Yeah. So we talked about Deke Adams last week, defensive line. This week we're going with the linebacker room. Next week we'll get DBs in, and then we'll go special teams, and then at some point we'll do our preview show before the season starts. But jumping into the linebacker room, Adam, you got that footage where we got the numbers and the players. The linebacker room is very young. That's what we looked at when we looked at the research on this.
So this time I actually put it in oldest to youngest.
Okay. And the crazy part about it is we only have 2 seniors in the linebacker room.
2 seniors, 2 juniors. That's it.
That's crazy work. That's crazy work. But the thing I do like about that, the fact they went into the portal and got Xavier Sword. So I like that. Talk about Larry Worth. Larry Worth and his ability. I can't even worry about these screens. I'm looking at these players. So Larry Worth and his ability to do that's 6'4", 224. Now, when you think about it, that's ideal linebacker, outside linebacker information. But the fact that he's a skilled athlete, and Pitt talked about him and Switzer coming in and now switching positions to where they put in Larry Worth back at safety. You see somebody 6'4", 224 being able to survey the field, track the ball, bring up, run, walk in the box, and lay the hammer on somebody. Dude, that's big time. So I think that'll be dope. Caden Henley, you got a young guy, you red-shirted. Brad Spence is one of the guys that we've been talking about. Know that
him and Sanford, I think. And there's one of the clips in here talking about returning linebackers. He talks about Spence and Sanford. Yeah,
I think Spence had 2 interceptions?
1 or 2 in the video that will roll while we're talking about them. He had a pick 6 against Western Carolina,
and just got in the game as a true freshman, so he did his thing. Carson Dean, I'm interested to see what Carson Dean can do. I know he's a Texas guy. Just trying to see if he has athletic ability to run. I know we had some linebackers in the past who were great at leadership and who were great at sticking their nose in there and being able to stop the run, but they couldn't cover. They couldn't cover a damn a twin size mattress. We need athletic linebackers who can cover, who can bring the hat, who have leadership skills. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table in that. You got Mr. Yurchek, Sean, on the team. He's 6'1", 225, redshirt freshman. Bradley Shaw, it has been some talk about Bradley Shaw, incoming freshman. Juju Pope got recruited. I think Juju Pope is out of Georgia, and he actually was recruited as an athlete. I think he played linebacker. Yeah. So when I think of him and his skill set and his size, it almost made me think about Rocket, because Rocket was recruited as an athlete initially, and he was a wide receiver in high school, and so it's interesting to see what they may do with him. Justin Logan. Wyatt Simmons is one guy I'm very interested in. Wyatt Simmons, I remember watching him out of high school, young freshman. Just interesting to see what he can do. Preston Davis and Joseph Witt. So we got some young guys on this team for sure. You can go ahead and jump into everything else. I want to jump back into these comments.
Yeah, we'll start with Worth and Switzer right quick.
All right, run it.
Worth was more linebacker at his previous stop. Switzer was more D-back safety. Why go the other way, those guys?
Well, part of it, Trey, is a need. Part of it is where we need guys. The other part of it is that Worth has so much speed that he could play inside, he could play outside. We're trying to see, and we probably will switch that maybe after 2 or 3 days to see. But Switzer looked really good inside today. I mean, really good. Look, unafraid, very aggressive. Obviously, we don't have pads on, but still, in pads or out of pads, you're going to find out a little bit about the guy's aggressiveness and his ability, his physicality. So I kind of like where he's at in there now. And it's basically about needs, about where we're trying to find. Obviously, you need them all over the place, but you want your bigger, faster, stronger guys as close to the ball as you can get. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
I think that was a big thing too, is just the fact of there's not a hell of a lot of depth.
Yep.
So
it's a lot of names on this screen, but it's not a lot of depth, guys with experience. At the end of the day, that's the biggest thing that's key in SEC play, is having experience. Guys who play big time ball and played in key situations. So that'll be interesting. Before we continue, Matt, and I'm gonna let you jump in. Miss Armstrong, if you're still watching, we would love to have you on. and give a parent's perspective on what it's like to have a son play for University of Arkansas, play for Coach Pittman. And I don't know if that's even possible, but if you are still watching, Miss Armstrong, we would love to have you on at some point and love to hear your viewpoint about having a son that actually plays for University of Arkansas. So just throwing it out there. Don't know if it'll work or may not work. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, as far as the linebacker room, I mean, Story and Spence obviously jump out to you. Dix I've kind of wondered what he would be like, but um, the as far as freshmen, you got Wyatt and Shaw, who have kind of separated themselves from the freshmen. It seems like early on. So that's and Shaw really more so than Wyatt, I would say, because I believe Pittman said that Shaw had been running with the one some, and you got the situation with Switzer and Worth, like I said, and that. So I mean, you got two solid linebackers, and then you're trying to figure out what you're going to do from there. Are you going to have three linebackers? Who's going to be your third? Otherwise, I probably envision a lot of 4-2-5 this year because, I mean, that's the way football is nowadays. You got three receivers out there, so they're going to have three cornerbacks on them usually. But T. Will's busting his butt recruiting lately. And I was thinking about this the other day, you know, when we talked about the potential coaches that could replace Pittman if or whenever he leaves. And, you know, we had T. Will in there, and some people probably may not be as excited about that, but the guy's a dang good recruiter. He's a motivator. And if he can prove his X's and O's, then, I mean, that's kind of what you look for in a coach. Other than that, you want a leader of men, and he's kind of showing that a little bit as well. So I think he's a very big addition that we got last year, and hopefully we have a positive year, you know, record-wise, and we can maintain him and a lot of the coaching staff because I've said many times, and y'all have too, we got a good staff. We really do. We're really lucky to have the staff. We just need to produce. We lost 5 games last year for less than 7 points. And I mean, that's a big difference in our win-loss record right there. And we'd be having a whole different conversation this offseason if we had won some of those games.
All right, I'm gonna jump into that conversation because I seen Logan said he'd been his guy since he joined on as DC. I would love to have him. I would love to retain him on the staff. Period. Right.
Yes.
After the season, and that all depends upon the win-loss record. But looking at it, one thing as being an Arkansas fan, we've always talked about is how many times have we went after the biggest name of coaches? How many tug of wars have we been in with major universities in regards to being the final decision between a top tier coach? And that's one thing we haven't done. I can't remember the last time it's ever happened. So I just look at it like this. In this era of football, whoever the boosters, Chicken Man, Skittles Man, whoever write checks, whoever they like, that's who I'm with. And hopefully it's somebody that we already know and that we do like, or that's been a proven winner and had head coaching experience. A lot of people said the thing they didn't like in regards to T. Will being a position, and I have an opportunity to get head coach. It's the fact he does not have head coaching experience. So I'm like, I don't think we're in position at this point to really just kind of pick and choose what we want. Who is this? Who is number 7?
Bradley Shaw.
That's a grown man in the damn high school game.
He's put on 20 pounds since he got here.
God dang, that boy sideline to sideline with it. I love that.
And he played both ways there too.
Man, look, that's a grown man. I like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at that. Oh man. Yeah, he a beast with it. Jumping into these comments, Sam spoke about the wild hog and said he's usually using short yardage situations. He said you can see Braylon Russell taking a direct snap. I wouldn't be mad at that. Would not be
short
mad at
yardage,
that at all.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Bobby Trino will win a lot of games. When you get the player, he needs to run his offense. Brad says the good thing about the linebacker room this year is that some of these young guys are going to get experience next year, making them that much better. Absolutely. You got to put them in the fire. You got to give them opportunity to get better. So they can practice all day long, but until they get their real game time experiences, and they're going to make mistakes. But hell, that's how you learn. You're going to make the mistakes. Um, Logan said, y'all know I've been saying it about T. Will. Bradley Shaw has already put on 20 pounds since getting on campus. He might be a freshman impact player, one of T. Will's big recruits. I'm telling you, T. Will's a real deal recruiter, man.
Yeah.
Real deal recruiter. Lane is the only one I can think of. Logan, I don't know what we're talking about, but
Head
I'm sure.
coaches, like big time,
Okay,
big
yeah.
name head coaches missed out on.
That was it. Yeah, I think we had him in the what the 12th hour, and all of a sudden, Ole Miss came back
Coaches
with a
we've
counter
missed
offer.
out on. We've missed out on several.
Well, like the big names that we've gone after.
Right. That we actually had a chance at. That was seriously considering us.
Okay.
So like I said, we feel like your boy Malzahn just been playing chess and checkers just to get a bigger check. So that really counts. But it is what it is.
Might happen again.
Man, look, I think says I like coach, but Brad Morris was able to recruit really well, but couldn't win. The thing about Chad Morris that I didn't care for, he was a used car salesman. This dude sold damn lemons. So he was a hell of a coach speak coach.
Shout out Club Dub.
Damn Club Dub against who? Western Carolina or some shit. Anyway, not even gonna go there. That day gonna make you mad. But he could recruit. At the same time, I think his ego was too big. One thing I give Coach Pittman a lot of credit for, his ego is not too big. He's not an ego guy. He understands that he needs great coaches around him to enable to and allow them to do their job in order to be successful. A lot of times we had coaches in the past who used to handcuff coaches, Bielema. He would handcuff coordinators and say, run it this, do it this way. I'm just like, Coach Pittman looking like, look, I'll be the CEO. I need you to run your defense, do what you do. If it's a final decision needs to be made on the headset, let me know. Same thing on offense. At the end of the day, I trust you guys to do your job. I check in with you guys during practice. We're on the same page. I like to, okay, boom. Logan said in regards to going out, okay, gotcha. Is Bradley Shaw, hold on, it moved. All right, William Brown watching us on Facebook. Is Bradley Shaw going to get lots of time this season? I would hope so.
I would hope so. See the field for sure.
If you have a linebacker room like that you've got so many new players, it's one of those. It's like if you come in and show up and show out, there's no reason for you not to be on the field.
Yeah.
Just like Brad Spence, as the season went on, we saw more and more.
Mm-hmm. Derek says, and this is a different Derek on Facebook. Heslep. Hope I didn't mess up your last name. I think we're so underrated. It won't be lights out, but I think that'll be much improved. Bobby will win games for sure. I just think about those games that we lost closely, that we were in but couldn't finish. We talked a lot last year about Coach Pittman not putting his foot on the damn gas. Choke their ass out. You get up by some scores, just keep on going. Don't just say we're up by 2 scores, which may be 10 points, and say we're going to run the ball. The hell with that. Throw the ball. I remember Steve Spurrier used to say, hey, people ask me why I'm still throwing the ball in the fourth quarter while we up 20 points. Look, his mom is sitting in the stands. She want to see her son play too. Absolutely.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's the defense's job to stop the offense. The offense shouldn't pump the brakes just because.
Right. And a lot of times they were a lot of 3 and outs. So the defense ended up being on the field longer and not having the depth that they really needed to be successful. In the fourth quarter, them guys were gassed. You could see it. And you would see teams who had a lot of depth on the defensive line, the offensive line, and those guys would take advantage of us being tired. So I definitely think we're in a better situation this year in regards to depth. Will Lennox said Bielema was the biggest name. I know we went after. And this is Will. I'll say this about that comment. I wouldn't say that you're wrong. I will say that Barry Alvarez was the reason why Brett Bielema was who he was. Barry Alvarez and what he did at Wisconsin was the reason why Brett Bielema did what he was. Once again, you had an ego-driven coach who wanted to step out the shadows of Barry Alvarez and have an opportunity to go and be a head coach for himself outside of the shadow of Barry Alvarez to come to Arkansas and do his thing. Now,
I need to get some Brett Bielema sound clips on here.
Man, that dude has some clips for days.
Borderline erotic.
Exactly.
Borderline erotic, right? The twitchy finger with the horns down. Yeah. Dude was wild. He definitely had his moments. But I will say this. Brett Bielema, offensive line, and that's when people will say the first time. The offensive line play was immaculate. I love to see it. the biggest offensive line in all of football, including the NFL. The offensive lineman flew first class on the trips. So that was a big thing that he had going on. And that's why we had a lot of great running backs in his tenure there. Pittman is a realist, which is rare. This is true. This is true. And I hope he's real about these 4th-and-1 calls this year, whether it comes down to analytics or his gut. Either way. Matt, what you got?
Well, come down to 4th-and-1, you got a better play caller this year that's going to create something.
Yeah.
So I definitely have more confidence in that. Yeah, I think Pittman's going to learn a little more, but he's got a more experienced coordinator, being, I guess you could say, head coach type, as in Petrino. And T-Will and the defense, they tried to hold their own last year until, they finally bend and broke. But, I mean, they did everything they could while being somewhat undermanned. And I think this year we're going to have some better outcomes. Yeah, we got some tough games, but, I mean, that's every year, especially in our conference. And if they move to a nine-game schedule in a year or two, then imagine really how it's going to be, playing 9 SEC schools. But it's going to be a tough year, but I think we're going to be okay. I really do. I'm more optimistic the closer we get to it, but maybe that's just the homer in me. I don't know.
No, I think you're not wrong in that thought process. The closer we get to it and hearing about some of these guys is flashing. And one of the things that was interesting to me listening to Pitt's press conferences, I didn't hear a lot of Isaiah Satania. We know Armstrong is the number 1 receiver. We heard about Broden being able to get 50-50 balls and catching the bomb, you know what I'm saying? We heard all that. I want to know if this offensive line is trash. I know Bobby Petrino has the ability to call quick plays and get the ball out of his hands, out of Green's hands fast. I want to see Isaiah Satania running across. After you throw the deep bomb to Armstrong, right? After you throw a comeback route to Broden, I want to see the little fast guy catching it at full speed and just running with it. That's what I want to see. I think once Petrino sees what he actually has against other opponents, he'll get a chance to really just make some adjustments, which is one of the reasons why I think they moved the UAPB game to Thursday night to give him some time to get ready for Oklahoma State.
Adam, can't argue it.
What?
What you got, sir?
We'll go with some more clips for a minute.
All right.
Who y'all want? You want returning linebackers? Or you want freshman linebackers?
Give me freshman linebackers.
Let's hear it.
First impressions today from the freshman linebackers, Bradley and Wyatt.
I saw both of them flash. Bradley moved up to the one field some, especially when the offense goes into 12. Where in Penny, when the offense goes into 12 personnel, he played a little bit more down on the field that I was on. I got a bad hip, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the other field. But I thought he flashed, and Wyatt. I'll have to wait and watch the tape to see that.
Get that man a cart to get to the other field if you got
a scooter. A damn something.
Hover around or something.
Yeah. What you mean you got a bad hip and you get a chance to get the other side of the damn field? We got all these facilities. Get this man a scooter.
What he's saying, but he's not saying, is he's focusing on the ones and not the twos right now. That's what he's telling you without telling you.
You know what? When you say that, I believe that. At the same time, when I initially heard it, I said he probably was down there working with the offensive line. And I'm not mad. Stay down there and get them together. So we talked about it the other week. We talked offensive line about Tykees Crawford moving around, being shuffled again to have opportunity to get some playing time. Look, you didn't recruit this man twice. Twice. 2 different schools. And he's still on the roster. If he has not taken a spot at this point, he ain't it. He ain't it. So we're going to see. We got some nice guys in the guard spots who really been making some progress. The young man that transferred from Florida last year, he held his own. He was the best. Yeah, bro. He was the best offensive lineman we had last year. I can't even lie about that. So he did his thing. And then Patrick Kudus. He got thrown to the wolves and got put in tackle and got his head whooped, that we used to say. But I think protecting him and putting him on the inside gives him more opportunity to learn his craft, protect his craft, and be protected with somebody on both sides. Go ahead.
And they got Carmona, too, who's getting all sorts of praise from coaches and everybody from the media and whatnot. So, and that's even one from Landon Jackson that the coaches have said, and they've said that essentially you've got Landon Jackson and Carmona going head-to-head every single day. And in a sense, yeah, you're going up against each other, but they're also teaching the other person what they're doing to combat, Landon's teaching Carmona what he's doing to get past him. Carmona's teaching him what he's doing to block him so that they can learn.
That's what they call iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you said.
When Carmona committed, my guy told me, and I said on this show, whenever it was, that he thought that Carmona was a second-round draft pick, that he was that good, and he could very well be that good. I trust my guy. And I think the offensive line is going to be much improved. I think you had Kudus and people like that who was out of position, being a freshman, being on the edge. That's the hardest thing. You're exposed out there on the edge. On the inside, you're protected. You got somebody on your right and your left. You got your center and your tackle that can help chip and with you. But being out there on your own, especially as a freshman, you got to be quick with your feet. That's the most important thing at tackle. And he just got exposed a little bit, and he's better suited inside, at least right now. We'll see, next year and going forward, projecting in the NFL if he moves back out. But he'll definitely be fine at guard. And Braun, like you said, Nichols, I'm excited to see what he brings from Tennessee. Yeah. So I think the offensive line will be much improved. I think also with the uncertainty of what Bobby Petrino is going to bring schematically, I think that's going to open up the run game, because he's going to run it out of every formation. It's not going to be a given I formation, hand it off type. It's going to be out of the shotgun and everything else, single back. So I just think it's going to, if we can put it all together, especially early, I think we can have a very successful season.
Yeah, and like Logan said in the comments, he said play action with Satanian will be dangerous. Yeah, I mean, with the trio of running backs, and if anybody's seen the clip we posted in the group where, and we'll jump on it later, about our recent committed running back. And I said you can keep the conversation about the different sizes, because Matt talked about the reason why we didn't recruit certain running backs is because we have a power back, you got a flex back, and you have a balance back. So with that being said, you got three different sizes.
Do they have nickel backs?
Is that the group or that's a position? You didn't thought I was gonna catch it. I was ready. I was ready. Yeah, I got you. Will Liddick got to do it. All right, so Will Liddick said Bryce Stevens has looked good in some clips. And that's one name we didn't hear about that last year. It was like, what the hell happened to Bryce Stevens?
I thought he was going to be kind of like what we thought Satania would be with the return. Like I thought Bryce Stevens was about to be our next return guy.
Right.
And he had the one, 2 years ago against Missouri State?
Mm-hmm.
Was that yeah. And that's really been it?
Yep. So it's like I said, who knows what Petrino is going to really roll out there? How many receivers he'll run? If he'll run empty backfield, man, if Petrino run empty backfield, he playing PlayStation at this point. Empty backfield, Armstrong, Broden, Satania, Stevens, Tesla, and you might have somebody like
you ain't name Haas. Haas can go out there.
Right, Haas or DeBinion. Like it's just and then they also talked about Braylon Russell, his ability to catch, and Jackson. So it's so many ways to do this. Will Lennon says, I hope David Ndoja gets a chance to play the twos. I like that too. Will says, and hope Kobe Brenham gets some PT. Kobe Brenham is from where?
Fort Smith, South Side.
There it is. Fort Smith in the house. You got some clips?
Some clips. I mean, yeah, I still got some linebacker stuff of, topic of the day.
Yeah, we're still talking about linebackers running.
Okay.
Like Alex Sanford, Brad Spence, and Xavier Sorey. What have you seen so far out of those guys that you can build upon with that group?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a great battle there. And Trey alluded to Switzer and Worth. We like Sanford and Dean coming out of camp. Sorey is coming into his own. He really can run. And He got a smile on his face all the time. I think he knows what he's doing, so he can play a little bit faster. He really shot some gaps today and looked really good doing that. I don't know who else you ask about. Spence, Brad. We were moving him up on the ball as a Sam. Anytime they go bigger than 11 personnel, we're keeping him in the box right now. So we'll see how that works for us. But again, I think he's the same way. You go from a freshman to a sophomore, you should get better in your confidence, your body, and all that. And I feel like he has. It's hard to tell you a lot, without putting pads on, but he was in the right place today.
He said the phrase that I didn't even catch.
Oh, go ahead.
When he was talking about him, and he's just like, when he's talking about Sorry, is that he's real fast. Stop saying that about these players as an attribute when you're talking about. I'm just.
Are you okay? So let's take this one or two ways, right? So I'm asking you, and this is just me, like legit having an understanding. Are you speaking about that in conjunction with the catapult? This guy runs 22 miles per hour type action, because the way I interpreted was Brooks Ellis was a hell of a linebacker. He just was slow.
Not on the same page as the 22 miles an hour garbage that we hear every season. It's more of, I feel like coaches, and this one in particular, because this isn't the first time that he's said this about players, that when he's describing the player or what they're good at or whatever, sometimes he falls back on this, that they're really fast.
They're supposed to be.
Exactly. You're supposed to be that. I would hope so. But tell me something else. Like his tackling, his racking up, his, pursuit of the ball, something other than he's really fast.
So you must have been paying attention. Did the man tell you his hip was messed up and he didn't get a chance to get down there?
Yeah, that's actually, I think they bring that up. He talks about in the next clip about watching a bunch of tape.
Hey, Matt, real quick. So as we watching the video, look at this clip. My guy Logan over here in the comments. Matt Hart, what are you checking for? Checking from right to left. Your eyes are going side to side like a grandfather.
Oh, I'm reading. I'm looking at the screen stuff.
Hey, look. That's what we talking
and
about.
I'm also looking at the TV.
I got us on TV too. I got us on YouTube too. Look, Logan, we had this conversation before we started. Before we got on today, it was like, hey, anybody ever notice how Adam just be over here looking? He just be looking at the damn ceiling. It's hilarious, but you're not wrong.
Usually, looking at my phone or something.
Gotcha. But see, Logan, I'm gonna tell you something. I get what you're saying, but that NCAA football, you gonna make him bring it up. Now, I didn't see the game. You got me checking my surroundings.
Yeah, what happened?
Is it? I'm sorry that it is awkward just to sit here and look. Somebody screenshot that.
Please don't. All right, run it before we wrap it up for the night.
I know yesterday you kind of focused on how Tyke's moving him to guard, getting him a look at guard, but then Joe Moore coming in. Just kind of what are you thought of him?
I can answer this one without Coach speaking you. I saw Tykees do some really good things today, and I would have to watch the tape to tell you really more about Joe. I didn't feel a lot of flashing in the pass game or the run game with penetration or edge pressure and all that from him. But to answer that question without just BSing it, I have to watch the tape.
So that was a long version of I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get down there because of my hip.
It's the mature experience.
It's all right.
Of I don't know.
Things of that nature.
You know what? You're preparing for the season. I'll give it a pass.
So he's in preseason form of I don't know.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Matt said he didn't want to hear that crap this year. Logan, you about to start something, Adam?
I can attest to Logan's team finally decided to show up in the fourth quarter.
Man, and you said Logan said it was still close, even though he didn't.
It was like 40-something, 20-something.
Dang. Yeah, I would have screenshot you, Logan. I'm waiting for y'all. I'm waiting for y'all to get the bugs out the game before I even get on it. And now they're saying that the Madden is going to be better than the college football. So I don't know. And Madden's usually been garbage and subpar for the past
I've
couple
seen
years.
this conversation going around a lot on, and we'll get the people watching y'all's answer or thought.
It's always
Instead of coming out with these games like Madden and NCAA every single year, what if they did it every couple of years so that it's not just this, like nothing changes much from the next one to the next one?
You know what?
I don't even know.
I'm looking at the middle of the screen, so I see what's going on. But, Matt, you can pay your damn Wi-Fi bill, sir. All right, Brad Stanton said, he said something like, I can answer that one without the coach speak. And then he went on to say he have to watch the tape. Look, Brad, he in mid-season form, man. Look, at the end of the day, we like this guy. We definitely like Coach Pittman. We want to have a successful season. We want the team to be great. We want players to get drafted. We need to have this team be great this year. It's no way around it. It doesn't matter how you really feel about it. If you're a Razorback fan through and through, you need this team to win. Like, we had this conversation when we first started this whole podcast situation about the different type of fan there is. Like, we have traditionalists. You have guys who are optimistic, and you have guys who are pessimistic. Guys who talk negatively every chance they get a chance. Like the guy Ty.
I knew you were going.
Ty, hope you're watching. I'm not gonna let it go because you petty. But anyway, he just wait for every opportunity to talk negative. But I think you can still be realistic in your fandom and have criticism, but still enjoy the team and still support the team. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I am with you. But what did he say? Brad, I don't know what the hell he said. It's Coach Pittman and we love him. We want to be successful. But I did say that with Porter and Adam that I'm trash. Man had me thinking I was good. Okay. It is what it is, man. No knock to you in that regard. You got anything else you want to add something on?
Well, let's see. I mean, there's some other stuff right quick. I know we're creeping up at 57 minutes, but this is just a slide right quick before we get off here. That is essentially when we talk about the rankings of these recruits that we're getting.
Well, go ahead and run it. But didn't somebody say something to you about Arkansas doesn't recruit 4 stars or something like that?
So this isn't like when we talk about like, oh, it's another 3 star. So there was a comment that was just like, oh, what's that? Another 4 star when Colton Yarborough at a #1 player in Oklahoma committed yesterday. And it's not that we don't get 4 stars. It's not that we're bashing the 4 stars that we get. But if you look, 4 to 7 is what we usually get. 4 to 7 4 stars. That's my issue. We're not being able to secure the higher level guys.
Yeah. So if we could get 7 to 10 every year, and then sneak in 2 or 3 5 stars, and retain their enrollment from year after year, I think we're working with something.
See, and we're talking about trying to get more than 4 to 7 4 stars. That's a tier 2 player in a kind of grand scheme of things. I mean, there's only 30 something, 20, 30 something 5 stars total, and 4 stars is a much greater category. But still, what we're talking about. So, but yeah, we got to increase that number if we want to compete with the way a lot of fans talk. They talk about SEC titles and now playoffs. Before then we got to get a lot better players.
So you know what's crazy about that? Does anyone know the answer? And Logan, I see you chiming in. Does anybody know the answer of how you start getting these 5-star recruits?
Win.
That's it. Al Davis said it best: win, baby, win. If you win, they will come. We already got the facilities. Arkansas is definitely a unique place. As Coach T. Will said, we're the only place that has the Razorback as a mascot. We can go back to Houston Nut. It's a lot of lion, tigers, and bears, but there's only one Razorback. Gotta love that Houston Nut. Justin Nunn said recruiting services get it wrong on the evaluations. Winning recruits players. Absolutely. And let's be clear. You got that for me, Adam? Let's be clear.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Um, Coach Pittman and his staff's ability to evaluate players has been a problem for the last couple of years. I cannot knock him and his staff during the COVID year. I'll even say 20 and 21 because they weren't able to see players live. But after that, I feel like you have an opportunity to go out to these high schools and watch these players play 7-on-7 tournaments and watch the film and then watch them live and put it together and make a solid evaluation on who you get. Because we talked about this in a couple groups before about how I don't know what the hell is going on with the screen. But anyway, we talked about the number of players that's on the roster that have come from different places. Well, there was a transfer portal. They're not guys who has been recruited. Are you watching Adam's face?
I was
Yeah,
texting what?
yeah, it is what it is. Matt, you just worry about you staying on the damn screen. How about that?
I'm watching. I get the replay on the TV right behind it, and I'm just laughing because the screens are just flipping the entire time, and I'm sorry, y'all.
You
I'm
playing
not doing
shuffle.
anything.
What's the little thing where they put the little P under the little thing? That's how we moving on the screen right now. I'm gonna get into these. If you got anything else, you can go ahead and run it.
But yeah, we'll just give right quick while you're looking at that if you want. I mean, shout out to the Arkansas folks that are in the Olympics.
There you go.
Kaylin Brown was on the world record, 1600 mixed. She held up the last leg. Arkansas assistant coach won his third straight gold in shot put. So let me roll this right quick. We saw this with Arkansas's 4x400 earlier in the year. So
Back to second place. Look at how far ahead the United States is.
But Karen's not acting like she got a lead. Look, she's still on the gas. Look at how much lead she's opened up.
If you're watching from Charlotte, North Carolina, cheer for Kaylin Brown. And the crowd are going crazy. They're going to break the world record. The French are in the mix. Kaylin Brown across the line. It's a world record.
Hey. Shout out to her and her efforts in the Olympics. Now, as I'm laughing, Logan says, don't skip on the Wi-Fi. Go fiber optic. Hey,
Bro,
I don't know. Look. You know, Trey Biddy, and shout out to Trey, baby. He one of his sponsors is like a Wi-Fi group or something. Can we get us a Wi-Fi sponsor so we can keep Matt on the damn screen? Shout out to Will says winning and better NIL. That'll definitely do it every time. And for Arkansas to produce better talent. He's speaking on high school talent. And just retain the guys that's in state. We know we lost a couple guys last year who we definitely could have used on this roster. So definitely being able to be in a situation where guys want to be at the University of Arkansas. They want to stay at home. We want to build a wall around the state and be able to keep our in-state guys in. Adam, what you about to say?
I was just going to have a little Inception moment real quick. You know, movie Inception, like a dream inside a dream inside a dream. Yeah. So I'm going to add this to the stage.
There's somebody else at Parkview that Arkansas is looking after.
Wait
that
a
would be
minute.
Camp.
Wait.
Hang on.
All right. So
Just throwing you off.
no, go ahead, run it.
This is the replay from July 7th when we were talking about the Parkview running back that Arkansas had lost out on. And on here, Matt let everybody know that there was another one in the works or on the radar, however you want to word it, who committed yesterday. So this is just about keeping your receipts. That's all this is. So, you know, it just looks weird because, like, we're here, but we're live over here. So it's just kind of.
And look, the thing that's crazy is, like, you're in front of yourself, and your head is so damn big you can't even see. Yeah, go ahead, run it. So check it. I really want to call bullshit, but I'm gonna let you ride with the 3 different sizes. The fan base is gonna always say we got outbid by somebody else. I bet y'all gonna put another. I bet you watching right now won't tap the heart or the thumbs up so when he give you this next little piece of information because he about to drop something on y'all. I bet you won't do it.
What?
What the hell was that?
Stone
Cold.
What?
What? Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. Continue. Sorry,
All right. So the person at Parkview is Cam Settles. We are looking at pursuing him. So there's a running back to keep an eye on.
What? So that conversation, I think we lost on
Amarion Robinson
from Little Rock Parkview, and he decided to go to Kansas State.
Yeah, he was Kansas State. He was Oklahoma.
No, he was Oklahoma.
Okay, Oklahoma.
The other kid from that area went to Kansas State. The one that was like a small 5'9" running back.
Correct. So
his name's eluding me right now.
Was it not Elston Forte?
Elston. Monty
Elston. Montarian Elston or something like that.
Gotcha. Either
Boom.
way. There you go. So the fact that we didn't get him, a lot of people talked about, well, we got outbid by somebody else, and Arkansas needs to get NIL. And as Matt alluded to in the Hog News, basically saying that the staff was looking at another running back from that particular school to recruit instead of him. So it's not like we lost out on one guy, so we took the lesser guy. We talked about the body types of the guys we already have on the roster and saying he's a better fit for what they have going forward.
He's bigger.
Yep.
And we already have one that was the same size and type as Elston. So that's the way it worked out.
Matt, say that again. Say what Stone Cold said.
What?
Brad said you sound like Stone Cold right there.
What?
All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. It's an hour and 6. Tomorrow is Monday. We are in the month of August. It's August, man. Back to school. Shout out to the kids going back to school. Shout out to the parents who get a break and send their kids back to school and let them do their thing. I know you guys been out doing a lot of shopping. Here in Georgia, the traffic is horrific. Now with all these school buses, people going shopping, all the Walmart parking lots are packed. So I understand what it is. Now the crazy part to me before we get up out of here, the kids went to school Thursday and Friday. For what?
Yeah, they do that here sometimes.
For what?
Like to ease them back in.
That's
They're
making them. Yeah, that's why your generation.
I hated it, but
yeah, Thursday and
at
Friday.
least it wasn't a full week.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday. So I was like, I asked a parent. I was like, so what's the point of the Thursday and Friday? Well, to get them acclimated into the school season, and I said, well, and to get used to their teachers. I said, what the hell is open house for? Is that not the same thing? Exactly. The look on your faces says everything. No, it's no reason for it. They go Thursday and Friday. They get a weekend. Oh, I'm exhausted. 2 days of school. Then they go to school, and it's probably 2 weeks they'll be out of school again for some break. It's out of pocket. Either way, man. Any kids that's getting ready to go to school, shout out to y'all. Hope y'all have a great school year. Shout out to the parents for doing what you do, spending time with your kids in the summertime, making sure they are properly prepared for the next grade. Parents, thanks for all the hard work you do to get these young people together to have a great education and to give them all things they need, supplies, clothing, etc., so they can have that swag when they pull up at school next week. So shout out to the parents for that. Before we close out, once again, we are looking for sponsorships. If you would like any information in regards to the reach that this podcast has and how many people is actually extended to, and you would like to have your business advertised on here, please hit one of us in an instant messenger or direct messenger, and we'll get the information to you. We also have a call-in line, and we didn't use it today, but we definitely want to use that and get acclimated to using it so that when the season comes, we can definitely use that for some people who may not want to just type in. They may just want to call in and have a voice. So we're going to have a set of people that we're looking at having on. And there's a lot of people that's on here in these comments has been consistent. So we definitely appreciate that, and we've reached out to some folks to see if you guys want to call in on the show. What about the brought to you by Logan Evans? Logan, what the hell? See, you're going too far. That's why you got whooped 40-something, 20-something in the damn game. I'm messing with you, Logan.
If you can afford it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, if you can afford it. I know you got the money, Logan. Yeah, go ahead and get a sponsorship so we can say brought to you by Logan Evans. Matt, you got anything to close us out?
Mm-mm. No news this week.
Gotcha. No news this week. So that means that it may be some news coming next week. Once again, next week we'll be jumping into defensive backs. So it'll be defensive back group next week, and then we'll jump into special teams, and then we'll set up a preview show. And from now, I ain't gonna say now. I'm gonna say now. From now until then, the question is, will Adam come off of his season prediction?
No.
He won't on principle, I think.
Stand on business.
Hey,
I knew it.
standing
I
on
knew it
business.
was coming.
He read my mind and he said, "That's what's up, standing on business." Adam, you got anything to get us out of here this evening?
Nope, just seeing what song we want to end with.
Hey, you go ahead and
We
kick
have
that out.
no idea.
Hey, we have no idea. This is a surprise of the show. Anyhow, guys, we are out of here. We thank you guys so much for supporting us. Remember, if you're watching this on the replay, press replay in the comments. If you make any comments after this show and watching this, we will jump in and reply to you. Remember, you can also join the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, it is Hog HQ, Hog Sports. What is it now?
Hog HQ.
Hog
Yeah, it's Hog HQ. And this is Hog HQ Live. To you by the Hog Talk Podcast. Shout out. We thank you for watching us. And once again, we appreciate your support. Catch you in the next one. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Run it.